What's your PIN number? There's all these things about when you go to withdraw cash, you have to have the PIN. When you go online, you have to have a PIN. Hello, everyone, and welcome to Soulfully Speaking. I'm Brian Bachand, your host, teacher, and guide, and it is a joy to welcome you. And so let's dive into today's topic today. Do you know your soul PIN number? You're probably thinking, okay, what is that all about? What does that even mean? Well, everything in our world right now is about PIN. And it's interesting being here, visiting my mom, who's 89 years old. We had to bring some final documents to the accounting firm who has been doing her taxes. And it's interesting, before we left to go to the appointment, I was online trying to go in to get a document, and it said, oh, please update your PIN because it had expired. And so that whole process, you get the email, you have to update it to the passwords match, and then you have to go in, and then it wasn't syncing right away, and then it finally did. The PIN numbers are there to protect us. PIN numbers that we have allow us to enter into the sites, allow us to be open and to look at things that are important to us, that we want to connect into. In so many ways, our soul, our spirit also has a PIN, not a number, but it's our gift. It's something that's very unique to who we are. It's the essence of our gifts, our being, that help us to navigate, that help us to enter into situations, life's moments, the positive and the challenging, with a deeper awareness, a deeper sense of who we are. Because when we know that PIN, when we know that special gift within our spirit and our soul, it will change how we listen, how we engage, and how we go forward. So let's spend a little bit of time on that. What does that even mean? You might be scratching your head thinking, well, okay, I thought I was doing well in life here, but now I have a PIN in my soul. Like, what is it? Let's make this really simple. So the first thing to think about is, what is it that brings you some of the greatest joy? Right in this very moment, think about what immediately comes to you. What brings you the greatest joy in life? Whatever came to your heart, whatever came to you in that moment, that's that secret soul PIN speaking to you. You might have said, oh, I love when I get to be with my pets, my dog. When my dog runs up to me and I feel that joy and I'm on my knees and playing with the dog, it just, I don't know what it is. I feel so joyful. It may be that when you're doing your special work, maybe you have a work that you really love and it's something that just feeds who you are. You love what it's about. It can also be the people you get to work with and how that just elevates you. And you're like, it's not just the work, but it's how I get to share that with those around me. It brings me so much joy. It may be the joy of when you are on a vacation in a new spot and you're in an adventure and you just walking outside and you just feel this connection to the world in a new way and connecting with people, that joy of openness. Whatever brings you joy, it is the connection. That is a PIN of your soul that's trying to say, the more you pay attention to that, the more you will easily open and access all the things you need to get into. When you allow that joy to help you navigate what and who you are in relationships and how you work, it will help you and show you. Sure, you may not be on vacation every single day, but that energy of that openness, that expansiveness, your curiosity, maybe when you're on that vacation, you just feel, I'm so aware of where I am and I feel so alive. Well, that's trying to show you maybe you need to be in environments of your work or maybe where you're living that need to have that same feeling. That is part of that spirit and that soul that's trying to come through to show you that. Another way to also ask that too is to ask yourself this question. Where is it when you feel most connected? Whatever answer has come up for you or you feel it, and it may be a word, it may be a memory, that feeling of connection is a feeling of showing you in your spirit and your soul of where you feel that ability to be truly who you are. When we feel connected to another person, to a place, to a particular mission, to a particular role in life. That is actually our spirit that is connecting us to know and embrace at a very deep level who we are, and that connection of bringing our gifts with ease. There's nothing worse when you feel disconnected. I don't know if you've ever been at a dinner party or you go to a wedding and you're seated at a table, and the conversation, the people you've been sat at, you just don't have a connection. It's awkward. There's a sense there, you're like, oh my gosh, like this person's work, they seem nice and everything, but it's just work. And then all of a sudden you go to another table to say hello to a friend, and you meet other people there, and you're laughing and you're engaging and you feel alive, and all of a sudden your personality's alive. You have a burst of energy, connection, because you're being who you are. When you are aware of the connection of when you feel connected, it is showing you internally in your spirit and your soul of where you are alive. We are not created. We are not in this world to feel dead to ourselves. We are not here to feel or be restricted. We are here to be fully alive and to bring ourselves fully into the world. And that is something to be aware of. Those moments that you feel most connected, that is your spirit and your soul trying to show you these are the places to be. And in the moments where you're not feeling connected, it doesn't mean you're in the wrong spot always. But it does mean sometimes that there's a lesson to learn, or maybe it is a way that you are holding on to, not allowing yourself to feel that connectedness. Maybe sometimes those moments are ways that, I need to step into myself more, to allow myself to be here. So pay attention to that. And it's really, really important. So let's move on to something else that's very fun, is that, oftentimes the universe is going to send us signs and things along the way to help us know we're in the right moment, to help us know that, we're following that code of helping things open up. So I want to give you a tangible example on this, and it's a fun one. So I enrolled recently on this particular course, and I had a great session. It was online, and it was just a very powerful session that I had that day. And I was feeling really energized. And the two words that came for me that day were the words, creativity, and also the word expression, and just really what I was feeling at that moment. So I had to leave my apartment in Lausanne, Switzerland. I had to go to the post office. And when you go to the post office in Switzerland, like all things in Switzerland, it's very organized. And when you go in there, you have to pull this number out of a machine that will tell you when your number comes up, where you go, what agent, and you have to wait. And I was walking to the post office because I had to mail something, and I got very excited because I said, oh my gosh, I get to pull a number. I've only been to the post office a couple times to mail things. The first time I went, the number that came out was 333. Next time I went, the next number I pulled out of the machine, my number was 444. And anyone that knows anything about numbers have meanings, and they can often be signs. And I was walking to the post office, and I said to myself, whatever number I pull, let it just be something that affirms and shows me something from what I've been learning in this program of what I really am seeking to create and express more. So I got to the post office, it's packed. I go up to the little machine, I pull the number, and it was a number that didn't mean anything, like 267. And I'm like, 267, what is this? It's supposed to be 555 or 888, 267. So I stepped off to the side, I took up my phone, and I just Googled, what is the meaning of 267? When all of a sudden, the first words that came up were, it is a sign of expression and creativity, and to be encouraged to continue that. And I saved that little piece of paper because it just was a beautiful wink and a beautiful sign, a beautiful pin that was coming up within me of expression, about creativity. And when we are seeking to do something in life, whether it's in relationships, in our job, or something we're seeking to do, oftentimes there will be a sign or something that will come to us that will help us to just say, you're on the right path, you're going in the right direction. And our spirit is the one that's leading that and will always be connected. So I encourage you, that as you're going about your life and your world, don't be afraid to ask for a sign. Don't be afraid to ask for something that is, creative, or something that just means something to you. And then forget about it. Just forget about it, because it will show up when it needs to show up. But paying attention to what you feel, how you connect, what brings you joy, and being aware of that, though that is the essence of your spirit seeking to guide you. And the more that you create the space to listen and be aware of that, and cultivating that on a daily practice, whether it's just taking a few moments of silence. People say, oh, I don't have the time to meditate, I'm busy, I'm this. Guess what? Walking from your house to your car can be a minute or 2 minutes. And instead of putting, your earpods in, getting music on, looking at your phone, thinking about, listening to voice messages from the day before, take some deep breaths, feel into where you're at. That creates the space to listen. Because by doing that, there is a beautiful side deep within you that always wants to lead you forward in your mission and always wants you to be the most alive. And so this is a way to listen, to connect, to feel, and to know that your special pin, your special essence of who you are, is leading you and guiding you to exactly where you need to be. So as we begin this day or evening, wherever you are, remember those ways. What do you feel? Where you're connecting? What brings you joy? That is the pin of your spirit and your soul that will never mislead you and open up new opportunities beyond your wildest dreams. Thank you so much for listening. I can't wait to see you again